As you go through the college application process, you may be invited to interview at a college or university. Each school will have its own policy as to whether or not interviews are used in the admissions process, so make note of the interview policy when you do your research on a particular school. Some will schedule interviews only with those applicants who have submitted an application, and for others you may have to call and request one. Interviews of this kind may be something you might have never done or haven't done in a while. Think of this as an opportunity for a school to put a face to your name and get to know you personally, and for you to have a better understanding if the college or university is a right fit for you. This isn't a board or a job application interview. The admissions officer isn't trying to trip you up. Be congenial, personal, and interesting. Express passion and excitement at the questions that give you those feelings. Relax a bit and don't feel like you have to hold your bearing like you would in a meritorious or promotion board. Admission interviews are really just an opportunity for the admissions team to ask questions about something interesting in your application or to hear your thought process in person. Think of it more as a conversation or a learning opportunity than a test. Here are some helpful tips to prepare for interviews. Talk to student veterans on campus or alumni who already went through the interview process. They'll be a great resource to help you learn what you can expect. You may want to ask them to help you role play an interview. This sort of practice is key. Try to replicate the conditions of the interview as closely as possible. Put on business attire, find a quiet place. If your interview is over video conference, such as Skype or Zoom, choose an appropriate background, like a bookcase. The more comfortable you feel in this setting, the better your interview will go. Make sure you are able to articulate clearly why that particular college or university is a good fit for you. The main focus of the interview should be how that college meets your specific goals for the future. Is there a specific style of teaching, or maybe a particular program or professor from whom you want to learn? What is the college known for academically that attracts you? We don't necessarily want you to tell Columbia, for example, that you've always wanted to live in New York City, or even that your friend told you that Columbia is very supportive of veterans. Those may be factors that feed into your personal fit with the college or university, but they don't address your personal goals. We cannot stress this enough. You must absolutely have a response to the version of the "tell me why you want to attend this college" question. You must be able to articulate your answer clearly. The good news, you've already been thinking about your reasons for attending this college. Review your personal statement and your notes from the previous modules, and you'll have your perfect answer. Write it down and practice saying it out loud. You want to explain to the interviewer why you would be a good addition to that college community. Make sure your questions are designed to fill any gaps in your understanding about the college or university. Again, this is your chance to determine if it is a right fit for you. Answer the questions you are asked. Stay on topic. If you're unsure about a question, ask for clarification. You might say something like, "I believe I understand what you're asking, but I want to make sure. Can you please repeat the question?" The interviewer will appreciate your attentiveness. Most admissions interview questions are going to revolve around academic interests, military experience, and how that relates to an academic environment, hobbies, personal traits, and why you want to attend. Be open and honest. You may have had a less than stellar start to your academic experience, so you'll want to be prepared to talk about that, how you overcome the previous hurdles, and why you're prepared now. Be prepared for the interview to end in one of two ways. The first is a chance to ask a question. The interview may ask something like, "Is there anything you'd like to ask me?" If that's the case, be prepared with a question, even if it's something generic like, "Thank you, I've enjoyed chatting with you today. I'd really like to know what the next steps are after this interview. Could you tell me where we go from here?" The second is a chance to fill in a gap. Tell us something you'd like the interview committee to know about you but we didn't ask. Use this as a chance to highlight an important part of your application. Be prepared for this possibility with a list of 2 or 3 things you feel you must say during an interview. If you feel like you really messed up an answer to an earlier question, take another stab at it. Finally, some logistical things to remember. Be on time. Actually, be early. 15 minutes prior is something valued in the civilian world too. Always have a way to contact the person or the office where you are interviewing on the off chance you're running late. If the interview is in person or via Skype or Zoom, dress appropriately. You don't have to wear a jacket or tie, but looking neat and put together will serve you well in making a good first impression. For most undergraduate programs, business casual, dress pants or a skirt and a pressed collared or shirt or blouse is just fine. At the end of the interview, make sure to get a business card. Ask if it would be okay to contact your interviewer in the future if you have follow-up questions. Send them a thank you note, handwritten if possible. This is another opportunity to expand briefly on anything you want them to know that you feel you may have missed.